Hi there, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today we're going to talk about lead generation clients to avoid at all costs. Let's get stuck in. Okay, so there is an argument that says, why wouldn't we just work with any client that we wanted to that would buy leads from us, right? A little bit of background on what we do and what we teach. We teach pay per lead and performance-based lead generation, which means that we have an offer that's extremely easy to sell because there's no kind of long-term retainer contracts. There's no kind of difficult sell where people don't get results straight away. It's not like SEO, for example, where you promise results 3 or 4 months down the line, okay? This is something that happens very quickly. The clients can buy 100 leads from you. They pay you up front for those leads, and then you deliver the leads, and if they don't like them, they don't go again. And if they do like them, then they keep on going and keep on increasing their orders, right? So it's a very simple, elegant business model. And because it's such a great offer, what you'll find is that if you start running ads to this type of offer, or you start reaching out to old clients who's worked with you before, and you put this offer in front of businesses, what you're going to find is that there's going to be a lot of interest, okay? And trust me, I've found out the hard way, when you're starting out selling leads, you want to make sure that you really kind of tread carefully with the type of clients you want to work with, because if you work with the wrong people, then you're going to get yourself in trouble. You might not get paid. You might have clients that are asking for refunds. There's all sorts of kind of little tripwires that you need to be aware with, which is why I kind of wanted to create this video for you today. Okay, so what type of clients should you avoid when you're running pay per lead? I guess this comes down to, most importantly, how experienced you are, right? Because if you're new to pay per lead, let's say you've been running ads to generate leads for mortgage brokers, okay? And you've been doing this for the last 5 years inside your agency, and you've been doing it on a retainer basis, and you know that your leads are kind of okay, and you know that you get results for your clients, and then you move to kind of pay per lead and start selling leads. There's not a massive amount of difference between what you're doing before and what you're doing now. You're probably just going to make a ton more money, right? So in that instance, you can be you've got experience in your industry. You know that your leads are okay, and you know that your clients are probably going to get a result from them. You might be running Google AdWords or an advertorial funnel or something like that, and they've got a good chance of kind of making those leads work, right? So when you've got a product that you're confident in that you can sell, then you can be a little bit more relaxed with the way that you sell it to the clients, all right? You might be more open to doing a deal where they pay 50% up front and 50% on the back end, or you might want to kind of start off on a lower amount of leads or something like that, just to make sure that they're okay and you're kind of filling them out a little bit, but also because you know your product's really good. You know that they're likely going to come back and order, okay? If you get even more advanced, right, and your product is so good, and you know those leads are just going to convert like crazy, and you vetted your clients, you can be, I'm not always saying you should do this, but you're so confident you could sell them leads on a back end and get paid more when you get a commission off a sale, for example, okay? You have to tread very carefully when you're doing this, but there's always going to be more money if you're able to kind of trust your product and service and get paid on the back end. We're doing this at the moment for one of our pay per lead brands, where we know we're kind of pre-qualifying and pre-vetting and chatting to the leads before we refer them to a company. And we know that the quality is going to be so good. We don't want to sell these leads for 50 bucks a lead. We want to take, because 1 in 2, 1 in 3 are going to convert, we want to take a big chunk of the commission on the back end, which is going to be more like, $600-700, okay? My point is, depending on your level's experience, you want to kind of offer the type of deal that matches your experience, all right? On the other end of the spectrum, if you're just starting out and brand new, all right, I really like to kind of negotiate with a client, all right? But I don't like to be dishonest with them. I like to be honest with them. So let's say I've been working in the mortgage industry, and you decide that you want to go and work in a different industry, and you want to go supply solar leads just randomly, okay? But you've never delivered a solar lead in your life, but you're getting you're getting started in a new niche in the performance marketing game, right? So if I was speaking to clients and putting my offer in front of them, I'd be very honest and upfront about that with them. And I'd tell them that, I've got 5 years experience doing this mortgage stuff and it's worked really well. But now my team is expanding into the performance marketing game. We're good at what we do, and we want to kind of come in and sit with a client and work with a client that's going to be able to grow with us as we get really good at what we do, because we've done that for mortgage. Now we're going to do it for solar. We're looking for a partner that kind of trusts us and understand that it might be a little bit of a bumpy road. Things might not always go well, but if you're willing to stick with us, we're going to give you a more favorable commercial deal, okay? And that usually for me looks like what we call a hybrid deal, where you'll get them to pay for the ad spend, and then you only get paid when something converts on the back end, right? We call it a hybrid deal because it's still performance based, but the client's kind of taking all the risk. And as I said, we just get paid on the back end. Some people might say that, Dan, this isn't a really good deal. But on the other hand, usually when you're starting out, if I'm brutally honest, these kind of client deals don't last forever, okay? They kind of, they work for a little bit and then you move on over time, right? The idea is that you want to help the client, and you definitely don't want to kind of take advantage of them, but you also want to be able to leverage their deep pockets, because they're a company that's probably more established and need leads. So if you can get them to pay for the ad spend, you can learn off their dime and be able to then move to the more advanced deals I was talking about before. Some warning signs that you want to look out for clients to kind of avoid a little bit, I guess, is the first one is to always go with your gut. If someone's on the phone with you and they're kind of like just boasting about how awesome they are the whole time, and how when they generate their own leads, they convert them at ridiculous amounts and their cost per acquisition is ridiculously low, and they just talk, it usually means that they're not being upfront and honest with you, which is good and bad. It's bad because you can't really trust what they're saying, which is I've got no time for. But it's also good because they're insecure with what they're doing at the moment and they need leads. But for me, I'd usually avoid someone like this that's kind of talking a good game and just someone that's just kind of BSing you a little bit, if that makes sense. The second thing is you want to make sure that they have a sales team in place. That's always a really important sign if you are selling leads to a company, because if you're selling leads to a single mortgage broker and they're trying to write mortgages and trying to close sales at the same time, then it's likely that they're not going to be able to get back to clients quickly and they're going to say your leads are crap. I've seen this so many times. If you are getting into performance marketing, you want to make sure that the client has a sales team and treat these leads like gold, all right? Which brings me on to the next point. If they're always talking about doing a back-end deal, get paid on performance, you just give us like 20 leads to start with and we'll see if they work, and then we'll pay after that. That never really works from my experience as well, unless what I was talking about before, you have such good leads and your product is so good, you can do a back-end deal, but that's usually a long way away for a lot of people. Okay, so now I've kind of told you about the different ways to transact with performance-based clients, pay-per-lead, and who are the good ones and the bad ones to work with, and what type of offers you can put in front of them. I want to talk to you about like the best way for you to get yourself in front of those type of clients, right? And the first way I always do this is to go out to the people who already know, like, and trust me, right? So using this mortgage broker example that I was speaking to you about before, you might have 5 years worth of clients that you've worked with over the years to get to the point where you are now. And if you send them a quick email and put the new offer in front of them, okay, your new pay-per-lead offer, you're going to, 9 times out of 10, if you do it the right way, you're going to get a reply, because it's going to, they're going to be interested in what you're doing because they've already worked with you. Okay, it's a no-brainer. If you're going to get into pay-per-lead, do this first before you switch any ads on, because it just makes all the difference. It's so easy. It's low-hanging fruit, and people usually don't do this. And something just popped into my mind right then. So if you are working with clients now like that are mortgage brokers, and you're doing it the old way, you can always upsell them to test pay-per-lead on top of the retainer contract that you're doing at the moment. I'd say, listen, Mr. Client, we're spending 20K a month on ads for you on Google, all right? And it looks like you got a cost per lead of about $75. Things are going really well, but what I want to do is try and get some leads over from TikTok, and we'll do it on a performance-based per lead basis for 75 quid or less. And if we can't do that, then you can negotiate whatever that type of deal is, right? But that's probably the best place to start, the people that are already buying from you, all right? All right, so now you've exhausted your current and past clients. What you want to do is advertise, right? So I've done, disclaimer, I've tried everything, okay? I've tried cold email, I've tried appointment setters, I've tried LinkedIn automation software to put that pay-per-lead offer in front of them. And yeah, they kind of all work, but my experience is over time, it's always best when a client sees an ad and then comes in to your ecosystem and comes to you, rather than the other way around where you're kind of, bothering someone and you're part of the pest patrol, we call it. You're always chasing and hitting someone's Facebook Messenger and things like that. It just doesn't sit well with me. And we have our B2B funnel is what we use, and we use really ugly Facebook ads. And we turn the Facebook lead funnel into it's kind of like a form into a funnel where they go through and they book a calendar spot off the back of it, and we see 60% lead to appointment ratio and 60% show up rates with our B2B funnel, okay? And what you can do then is you can advertise your pay-per-lead offer, push people through your funnel, and then you'll have a certain number of clients that are a good fit for pay-per-lead, a certain aren't a good fit. And what you do with them, I guess, is down to you, but we've always found that advertising is really good. The second best thing after going out to your existing database. All right, I hope that makes sense. If you've enjoyed this video today, please give us a like. If you've got any questions about this topic today, good and bad pay-per-lead clients, please comment below. And lastly, please subscribe to our channel so you can be the first to know when we create new videos just like this. I'll speak to you soon.